Star Wars 7x7 episode 2077. Today, the Rogue One prequel series for Disney Plus and the dangers of divisive clickbait headlines. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. So, Rogue One prequel, Cassian Andor and K2SO, right? This is a new series being developed by Disney Plus. Very exciting that this is happening, and so naturally, if there is anything resembling news about it, then of course it's something that websites are going to be reporting about, internet news outlets, even mainstream media news outlets might be reporting depending on what the news is. So I think you and I would agree that how it's done probably matters, especially now, especially since over the past few years, it's been a little tense inside the Star Wars fandom, right? Various factions of folks have been very strident in their opinions about the movies, about the characters in the movies, about the relationships between those characters in the movies, and that's one thing, and that's not the challenge that we're here to solve on today's episode. Now, the one I want to address is the fact that there are some internet outlets that throw fuel onto the fire. And this was the case recently with one outlet that reported about Diego Luna's appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And so here's the headline that caught my eye. It says, Star Wars Rogue One prequel actor Diego Luna says Lucasfilm doesn't trust him. Now look, the majority of the people who see that headline are not going to click through and read the article. They are just going to see that headline, and that's all there is to it. Things about communication, right? Communication via text only tells you part of the story. If you don't have audio cues, if you don't have video cues, in other words, if you aren't actually hearing a person's voice or seeing their face, then you lose a lot of the communication cues. You lose body language, you lose tone of voice. There are so many other things that you can learn that you can't get just from reading text. So that's problem number one, okay? And problem number two is the way that that is written is just straight up inflammatory, right? The fact that all it says is Luna thinks that Lucasfilm doesn't trust him, okay? You could read anything you want to in that, but the reason why he's saying that is so awesome and fun that it's not a problem. This is an article that's trying to start a problem with that headline where no problem exists. So here is the actual exchange between Jimmy Fallon and Diego Luna about why Lucasfilm doesn't trust him, or why Diego Luna thinks that Lucasfilm might not trust him.
You're going to be in the Rogue One prequel, right? For Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Now, look at already you're distracted because you're not allowed. You're not allowed to say anything about it, right? At all.
I gotta start to, I gotta
make
look
things up.
distracted. Sorry, you were saying.
What can you say?
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
I mean, no spoilers, nothing. But you are
obviously nothing.
You are in it, though.
I'm in it, and I can't say anything, but not because I don't want to or because of a contract. It's because they don't tell me anything. No, really, they don't trust me, I think.
Why would they not trust you?
Because I like mezcal, man, and I tend to get drunk.
Mezcal?
I tend to get drunk and say things. You know, I also used to leave my script while we were shooting Rogue One. I used to leave my script everywhere. They realized that. So I was single, so it's also kind of cool, like, oh, you want to know what the film is about?
Yeah, you used to pick up girls, yeah.
Or whatever, I mean, like friends. Or
whatever you want. Yeah, you want to meet people, sure.
All right, so you've heard it for yourself. Now, do you see what I mean? The headline was Star Wars Rogue One prequel actor Diego Luna says Lucasfilm doesn't trust him. That absolutely misrepresents the tenor of the interview and what was said and why it was said. It's starting a fire where no fire needs to be lit. And so I'm here to say just watch your sources and don't necessarily tempt yourself into going into clickbaity stuff. If you see something like this and you're compelled to find out what might be happening, I would highly encourage you when you see a clickbait thing like that, just head over to Google instead and type in a relevant search and see what happens. Even type in elements of the headline and see what happens. Diego Luna Trust, and you'll end up with a link to the YouTube interview of him on The Tonight Show, and that would be your source material instead of this crazy spin that is just trying to start controversy. All right. End soapbox. I want to get back to a little gratitude, and I'm going to do that after the break. Stay tuned. Hey Rebel Rouser, I've made some changes to the asteroid belt level at patreon.com/SW7X7, and they are all with sponsors in mind. So if you want to get the word out about your business, your product, your service to a dedicated Star Wars audience, then please check out patreon.com/SW7X7 and look for the asteroid belt level for details. Again, that's patreon.com/SW7X7. Welcome back. So, I haven't talked about patrons of the show in a while, and so I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to the people who are supporting Star Wars 7x7 and supporting me in delivering this daily dose of Star Wars joy to you, and have been since July of 2014. So yeah, we are very close to the 6th year anniversary of this show, which is pretty amazing. So thank you to, here we go, RA, and some of these folks, as they identify on Patreon, don't necessarily identify by their actual birth names, so there you go. Rural Farm Boy Anthony, also for example. Alex Joel Arroyo, thank you for joining. Jonathan Ashley, Senseless Babble, Chris Balfour, Morton Bay, Bill Beinitz, Andreas Binzenhofer, Rich Bonomo, David Bosniak, Adil Burney, Fred Butler, Kevin Kane, Hector Colon, Jason Cooper, Joshua Delohi, hopefully I got that right, Joshua, Daniel Dye, MPE, very mysterious, Jamie Eastman, Katie Folks, John Frost, Jeff Fulton, Gaminette, yes, another pseudonym, Katie Glitz, Bobby Gordon, Jared Gorman, Bradley W. Hall, Ann Art Hildering, Doug Howard, Stephen Howard, Peter Janiling, Pamela Johnson, Beth Koretnick, Andrew Keene, Dennis Keithley, Doug Kenyon, Nathan Lancy, Robbie Latham, Cedric Mitchell, Josh Most, Clay Musser, Doug Reed, Joe Ritchie, David Stay Radis, that's fun, Tony Surgeon, Susanna, David Vanderhoof, here's the big pronunciation one, Christoph Verschurer, oh Christoph, I hope I did okay with that, Jeff Wixon, Timothy Wilcock, R. Young, and Heinrich Zimmet. Thank you one and all for continuing to support me and the show. It just doesn't happen without you. Yes, I would be doing this anyway and be doing it for free, but I'll tell you, the fact that you are helping to defer the costs of hosting, of production, of editing, of marketing, of equipment and supplies, and of kitty treats for our studio manager and studio intern, and doggy treats for our video production assistant. It means the world to me, and I am always grateful for it. Thank you so very much. And if you would like to consider joining this esteemed roll of people who are supporting making this podcast possible, I would greatly appreciate you checking out patreon.com/SW7X7. That's patreon.com/SW7X7. And that is going to do it for our show today. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And may the Force be with you wherever in the galaxy you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.